Here's your Greater Houston housing market update for March 11th through 17th, 2025, where listings are on the increase and pending and closing sales are on the decrease. Hello, I'm Sharon Zibb with RE/MAX Universal, and I'm a local real estate agent and broker in the Greater Houston area for RE/MAX Universal. And every week, I'd like to bring to you the market stats that our multiple listing service, HAR, puts out weekly. Yesterday on Wednesday, usually when their numbers come out, we saw that new listings are on the rise, and this is to be expected. It is the time of year where more sellers choose to put their homes on the market if they're going to sell than any other time of year, springtime. So this is historically the norm. What we are continuing to see, though, is that pending and closing sales are down slightly. It is still taking a bit longer for sellers to sell in this market. So homes are going under contract at a slower rate and closing at a slower rate due to that. Now, in addition to that, we see more homes coming off the market too, where sellers aren't getting the prices they want. So they are choosing to just withdraw their listings, either for the time being or for a substantial period of time. That remains to be seen. Showings are definitely down, and so that goes kind of hand in hand with pendings and closings being down as well. So all those things kind of play in together and correlate. But listing views are up quite a bit. That's a sign that buyers are interested, at least, in the market. Whether they will pull the trigger and do anything, we shall see. But listing views is a good way to pay attention to that particular situation. Now, on a brighter note, we do see that per Mortgage Daily News, mortgage rates have gone down just slightly. Mortgage rates change daily. So take this data with a teeny bit of a grain of salt, but it at least kind of gives you an idea of what the fixed and FHA rates are right now. And they both trended slightly downwards. That can change tomorrow, but for now, that's where they're at. And rates are really only good on the day they're given to you. And I always tell my buyers when they're buying a house, they're only really good until the day you lock in your loan. So, and they do depend on everyone's financial circumstances. So please keep that in mind. All right. Now, I would love to address some question or a question I get asked quite a bit, especially when I'm talking to a buyer for the first time. So I'm going to kind of call this segment the Ask Me Anything segment. And going forward in the future, if you have a question you'd like to ask me, just drop it in the comments below, and I'd be happy to try to get it on the next episode, which I'm going to be trying to do these weekly. So the question I get asked quite a bit is, when is the best time to buy? And honestly, when is the best time to buy is kind of a way of a buyer saying, am I making a mistake buying? If I buy now, is it a bad idea? Will I lose money? Am I buying at the top of the market? It's all those kind of fears are wrapped up into one. And so what I tell my buyer clients is, if you have the means to buy now, and you really have a need to buy now, you need to for your family, or you're tired of paying rent, you want some tax breaks, you are relocating, and it just is a great time to make a purchase, then feel confident and go ahead and do that. But the only thing is, just plan on staying in your home for a good 5 to 10 years. And the reason I say that is, if you look at historical data over time, the US median home sold prices, they tend to almost always go up. Okay. Now, there are always times where that is the exception and they go down, and those are called market corrections. Market corrections are completely normal. They are absolutely necessary for a healthy real estate market, because if you have prices continuing to go up unchecked indefinitely, that would not be good for anybody, especially buyers. And you'd have major affordability issues. And we are seeing that right now, where we do have affordability issues for a number of factors. But one of them is the huge ramp up we had in prices over COVID. And now, since mid-2022, that has been correcting. But if you wanted to look at a more recent example of how long this correction might take, since ours started, as I just said, in mid-2022, you could go back to the mortgage crisis of 2008, and you'll see that when prices started falling then, in Q1 of 2008, It took till Q1 of 2013 for prices to start going up again. So they went on a 6-year downward slide, and then they started recovering. And then once they recovered, they went back up and they surpassed the former high that had been set in '08. So that took about 6 years for recovery. So if you want to be conservative, you might say our recovery could take 6 years or 7, like I said, if you want to be conservative, which would put us at about 2028, 2029. So if you buy now and prices do continue to go down somewhat, as long as you're not selling, you're not harming yourself. Okay. So make sure if you buy now that you are secure in your job and your family life, and that you don't feel like there'll be any unexpected surprises that would cause you to move. That's the only way where it can get a little tricky, is you have to put your home on the market and it's worth less than when you bought it. That is not a great situation to be in. That's my advice for that. And again, ask me anything, questions you can drop in the comments, and I'll try to get to them every week. And as a thank you for watching this episode, I have in my description also a free PDF. It's an 8-step home buying timeline, and feel free to download that and enjoy. And if you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the greater Houston area, just ask me. Thanks for watching.